This week on How I Came Up, we're going to salute Shantelle Patton, the owner of That Brown Bag. As we conclude our special series for Women's History Month, Shantelle is going to complete the series by sharing her own personal story growing up here in Buffalo, New York. She's also going to share how she is supporting entrepreneurs of the Black and Brown community achieve their aspirations. Now let's get to it. This is How I Came Up.
My name is Shantelle Patton, and I am Buffalo bred, Buffalo, New York, 716. Childhood was full of love. Spent in the house with my grandparents and my parents. I'm an only child, so my cousins became my siblings, and coming up in Buffalo, New York, middle-class family, middle-class neighborhood, I was afforded a lot of opportunities that I'm grateful for, and they have made me who I am today. I mean, even from the beginnings, I grew up in a household where my grandmother was a teacher's aide, so education started from the minute I took my first breath. But Buffalo Public Schools really shaped me in my formative years. I ended up at City Honors. From City Honors, I went to Sacred Heart. From Sacred Heart to Niagara University. So, going from Buffalo Public to private Catholic high school to then private Catholic college, I was able to see both sides of the coin, to see what it looked like to go to school in the city, and then to see what opportunities are afforded to students that don't necessarily look like me. And I think that helped to shape my thought process of wanting us to have the same opportunities that were afforded to my non-melanated counterparts.
I'm joined by Benny the Butcher.
This is D from the Projects.
Rick G.
Dr. Kelly Lucci.
Hey, what's up? It's D. Wilson.
It's Michelle Visa.
Omni Star Muhammad.
TJ Iceberg.
This is How I Came Up.
This is How I Came Up.
And this is How I Came Up.
How you doing? My name is Sam Hill, host of How I Came Up. Do you have a success story that you would like to share with the world? If so, please go to skovutv.com and submit that story. And just maybe we'll allow you to share that story with the rest of the world.
Black-owned business is one of the most underserved and under-supported areas for us as a people. I think that there's this belief that we don't run businesses. We were born and bred to be workers, and that's not the case. So the inception for That Brown Bag actually started from Facebook, scrolling through and seeing people ask, who does this? Who sells this? Can somebody make me a t-shirt? I need a makeup artist. And every time I would respond, it was always with one of my sisters, one of my brothers, somebody who looked like me. And having a conversation with my partner's, one of his engineers, he's a musician. And he said, well, why doesn't somebody put together a list? And in that instance, it was not doesn't somebody put together a list? Shantelle, why don't you put together a list? I already had a network in my head, so it was just a matter of getting it out of my head and into practical application. And I think that was my roadblock was, well, how do I get this info out of my head and what do I do with it once it's out? I wrote and rewrote the directory. I'm not gonna lie to you, the first edition was written and rewritten probably about 8 times. I cursed at my computer, cursed at myself. It was a labor of love, trying to figure out, is this gonna be an Excel spreadsheet? Is this going to be a Google form? So it was really trial and error for me. Getting all the businesses and the business information the first go around was networking, going to vendor events, going door to door to businesses, striking conversations in coffee shops, collecting business cards. My business card collection could probably wallpaper the entire inside of City Hall right now. So just really ingratiating myself to the community of business owners in the city of Buffalo allows me now to really be able to put up a Facebook post and says, hey, I'm taking submissions, and now I get an influx. So it's been a blessing. It's been a learning curve, but I'm grateful. I would do it again and again and again if it would get me to where I am right now.
Shantelle Patton, the creator of the directory, says the main reason to create this resource is to help give minority businesses more exposure.
The minority dollar remains within minority communities for hours at a time versus our counterparts and their dollars remaining for days, weeks, sometimes even months within the community. And recirculating our dollar and reinvesting it back into the community is what allows these communities to thrive.
Professionally, I am your minority business advocate for the city of Buffalo. That's my first love, my first passion. My 9-to-5, what pays my bills is health insurance, but I'm trying to create an insurance for Black business in Buffalo right now. Minority business advocate. Like you said, one might ask, what does that mean and what does that look like? About 2 years ago, I penned a minority business directory. We've heard of the white pages. Well, this is the brown pages, or that brown bag. And I've spent the past 2 years cultivating a network for Black and brown businesses. So what that looks like is a hard copy publication for the community to be able to participate in cooperative economics, spending their money in the community in which they live with proprietors that look like them. And then on the flip side of the coin, for the business owners, creating a network that gives them a village of support of other business owners as well as the community. Keeping these businesses open and thriving is a huge economic boost to East Side, Lower East Side, and West Side communities in the city of Buffalo. We at one point had thriving business communities that belong to us, and I want to regenerate those. Let's recreate Black Wall Street here in Buffalo. Let's be the catalyst. Let's be the example and be the prototype. That's pretty much what I'm looking to do right now with the directory and with the network that the directory is creating amongst the businesses in Buffalo. So my why, what I'm looking to do right now is cooperative economics, keeping businesses open and thriving in the communities that they live in, that they commune in, that they fellowship in. We've seen businesses, Black-owned businesses, open and close in less than a 365-day span. That's unacceptable. Ownership is what we're looking for. Self-sufficiency is what we're looking for. And again, the recirculation of the Black dollar throughout the community. Those are my 3 prime points when it comes to this directory and when it comes to supporting and being an advocate for minority business. We are a talented, beautiful people. We just need to make sure that everyone knows and doesn't utilize that for their own efforts. Let's do it for ourselves before we do it for somebody else. One of those businesses that opened to close within a 365-day time frame was a good friend of mine. Seeing the struggles that they went through in getting the business open and then the heartbreak of having to close the doors of the business, it sparked something. It said to me, why do you have to close the doors to your business? And she said, well, nobody knew about it. And a lot of businesses don't have the educational resources. They have an idea, they have a product, they have a thought, and they want to get that out to the world. Well, I have resources, I have people. Why be selfish? I can't take this knowledge to the grave with me. If I do, it dies with me. I don't want to be selfish. In 2017, I did a program, a leadership program, and I think that's what lit the fire. Open Buffalo Emerging Leaders taught me that once you have a why, you have to let the rest of the world know what that why is so that they'll join you in that why. And my why is when my brother or sister succeeds, so do I. I think that the growth of the directory has actually really been an organic process. I ran into a dry spell here and there. It's really the nature of business in and of itself. You have peaks and you have valleys. So when I first came up with the idea for it, it was the best thing since pants with pockets. Once I told people this is what I wanted to do, and then you hit that incline. It's like going up on the roller coaster. You hit the incline, and it took off running. I had a release party, sold out at the release party, and And then the momentum kind of slowed down a little bit. And that's when myself, you have to say to yourself, just because it's slow doesn't mean it's stopping. And that's where you kind of have to have your own self-initiative to keep going and not give up because things slow down. And then things like George Floyd happen. Things like the Black Lives Matter in the middle of the street in Washington happen. And then we become trending again. And then here comes this influx. So it's really just like a natural up and down. I don't think that we're ever going to not be trending. They want our rhythm, but not our blues type of deal. So when we get to our own people, I actually got the biggest support from the other business owners. The business owners that I was listing, the business owners who wanted to be listed. That's really where I get the majority of my support from, is from business to business. You have those moments where, of course, it's, well, you are highlighting this business, but I do the same thing type of deal. We definitely have there's 37 types of bread on the shelf, but I only want you to pick my bread mentality. And that's what I'm trying to shift people away from now, is there's enough business, there's enough consumerism to go around for everyone to have some form of success. I think that might be my biggest roadblock, is getting the businesses to support one another that are in the same demographic, they're in the same business category per se. But the growth has been organic, the support has been organic, and I get support from blue, black, brown, polka dot, plaid. It's coming from everywhere. It has come from places that I maybe not necessarily would have expected it to come from. I have council members, attorneys, legislators that are in full support of this directory continuing. It's like the Green Book, you know? It's give people an opportunity. You can't say that I don't know where to shop now, because I've taken that excuse away. I'm gonna kind of do a quick shameless plug. I'm actually sitting right now in a shared studio shared by 3 of my brown bag businesses. So I'm sitting here with one of the dopest makeup artists in the town. Y'all can't see her right now, but she's over here doing what she do, Ashley Simone. Behind me is the work of the left-handed bandit, Tyshawn Tyson. And in the other room is Revolutionary Strokes, J.P. Hawkins Sr. And to have conversations with my business owners, Yamaste Mobile Massage just inboxed me and said, I have had such an influx of customers just based off you sharing and resharing my posts. That's success for me. I'm successful now because her client base has increased. Working with businesses such as Black Monarchy, they've been a day one supporter, and she's been in business now for 2 years, I believe. She just celebrated her anniversary. And to see the success, the expansion, that's been, I can say I've had some type of hand in creating an outlet for her to be able to reach more consumers. So, those are the types of things that make me feel successful and continue to propel me in wanting to keep going with this directory and this effort. The next step is to turn this into a mobile application. I know we have some people who really, really like the hard copy. They want to turn pages. And then we have, our techies who really would rather have it in the palm of their hand. So that's my next step, is to turn this into a mobile app. I would really, truly love to be able to integrate it with Google Maps so that when someone is near one of my brown bag businesses, they get a notification. And they know that they're close to one of these businesses that they could just walk in and patronize. My major why for that brown bag is because I can't give my 9-to-5 to my kids. I've got a 22-year-old who is now a father. So I've got my first grandson, he's 1. I have an 11-year-old little girl who I'm her first example of what it means to be a Black woman. It's very, very important that I give her an example that she can take with her, that she won't need to recover from later in life. So keeping her immersed into positivity, letting my son see that even later in life, mom has taken something and created beauty out of it. And also to my grandson, my partner has a 7-year-old son. Just being able to give these children tangible examples of Black excellence is so very important. We have children who don't get that. They get it from TV. They get it from the radio. I want my family and my children to get it in their home before they even have to turn on a device. It's very, very important that we remain connected and that, again, we give these children something that they don't have to recover from and something that they don't have to hurt themselves in order to attain. I'm doing the groundwork so that I have something that I can give them. This is my legacy to them because they are my legacy to the world. Who's been most instrumental for me have been other Black women business owners. Felicia Natalie Dove, Itina Fareed Cook are the first two that come to mind. They are tenacious. They are willing. When I say willing, there's no bitterness, there's no cattiness about these women. If I ask a question, the answer is forthcoming and it is flowing, and they are happy to give it. So those are my two primaries that I follow. And then just other business owners within the city. We look at Eric Rawls from I'm Living Me, Chris Bishop from High Class Hair, who are juggling being regular day-to-day people and enterprising businessmen and businesswomen. And then outside of that, of course, my ancestors. You got to continue to follow them no matter where you go. I walk like I got all 3,000 of my ancestors walking behind me. So that's who I look to and that's who I look up to. My present, I actually look up to my daughter because she's the future, and my ancestors, my past. When it comes to the future and what's next, we are the new ancestors and we got to act accordingly. When we look at the state of how our kids are coming up now, I don't want to be my children's friend until they're legally old enough to buy me a drink, and even then that's questionable. What we've missed and what I think is impactful is the image that we give these children to take with them and the voice that we give them, because the voice we talk to them in is the voice they talk to themselves in. I just want to be different. I don't want to be like the rest when it comes to the future, when it comes to the present, or when it comes to honoring the past. This is Shantelle Patton, your brown bag lady, and this is how I came up.
What is your name and where are you from? Hello, my name is Sam Hill. I'm the host of How I Came Up. How I Came Up is a platform for our entrepreneurs and professionals to share their successes and their struggles. And hopefully they'll give us some tips to success. Now let's get to it. This is how I came up.